So flax, if you're very healthy, you probably sprinkle flax seeds on your muesli or whatever in the morning. So
yes.
It's exactly the same. That's what flax is grown from.
Okay.
So it was sown in the springtime and grew for about 3 months, up until kind of August time.
Okay.
And this is the plant after it's been dried and pulled. The little flax flowers, the little blue flax flower that you sometimes see as a symbol, particularly in this part of Ireland. But each little flower becomes a seed head. So then it's pulled rather than cut, because you want to keep the length as long as possible.
I see, yeah.
Yep. And
is this still what they used to make linen from?
yes,
it is, even today.
Yeah, even it's not really produced commercially in Ireland at all now. All the linen that you get, if you go and get a shirt, Marks and Sparks, it'll have been grown, further afield.
Yes.
But yeah, same principle.
Okay.
So it's pulled and then it's dried, and that takes however long, weather dependent. And then after it's been dried, their seeds would have been removed, process called rippling.
Okay.
And then tied up again, and then the process is called retting, so it's like rotting, basically.
Right.
So there's an old photograph over there on that display which shows a retting dam. So it's kind of like a ditch, and you put the flax in and soak it for a couple of weeks to kind of rot that outer shell.
Wow.
The smell, if it's small vision, it would not be good.
Oh my God, I can
smell.
imagine. And quite tough work as well to get into the bog.
Tough work, and they
would that have been a river or like a lake?
It might have been a river, but it would have been blocked off. Oh, yes, of course, yes.
Or would it have been especially for that purpose?
It probably would have been for that purpose. There's a wonderful word here, shock, which is a sort of like a ditch, like a soggy ditch.
Right.
So there might have been a shock, or might have been a little bit of the river they would just have blocked off to, to use for that purpose. Because obviously you don't want your flax floating off downriver.
Okay. So there wasn't much wool weaving in this.
Well, no, not really. Well, wool was originally Ireland's textile, but back in the days of Henry VIII, the Irish wool was starting to compete too much with English wool, so he imposed taxes and tariffs and basically suppressed the Irish wool trade.
Right, okay.
But then there was a bit of support came in to convert to linen instead, because obviously a lot of the skills are transferable, spinning, weaving, etc., etc.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's actually comparatively modern and not kind of like native to the place.
Yeah. Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, so it's also the history of politics.
So it's quite a long process to actually make the final product.
It really is. Because once you've retted your fabric, you end up, or your flax, you end up with something like this. So that kind of outer crust is starting to rot, and you're getting access to those inner fibres.
It's still quite coarse though, isn't it?
Still pretty coarse.
Yeah.
So then you go through a process of breaking and scutching. So you're basically kind of smashing and bashing that, and until you end up with the scutched fabric or scutched flax.
Right. Okay.
So that's pretty coarse still, but you can see most of the kind of the crusty outer bit has gone.
Yes. Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then you go through a process called hackling, which are these pins here, are hackling pins.
Is that like a very strong brush?
Yeah, so they're actually, very, very pointy.
Very sharp.
There have maybe been about 10 different levels of this, so you go through from the widest to the
Would
finest.
this have been done manually?
Yeah. This was some of the film footage there. You can see the men working at this. Being a hackler was quite a prestigious job. It was quite well paid. But it was very detrimental to the health, because if you think of all the dust that would have been produced from that, and they were breathing it in, no health and safety. So hacklers tended to have shorter lifespans than other people working in the area. So once you've done that hackling, and then so that's the hackled flax.
Right.
So you'd in the fairy tales they talk about the maiden with the flaxen hair.
Right.
So you can see it really does.
It looks like a ponytail.
Yeah, it looks like that. And apparently the ancient Egyptians, their fancy wigs were actually made of flax, it's dyed black.
Right. Oh, I see.
So they were using it as a kind of a hair
replacement, or a wig.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So once you've got to that stage, then you can get it dressed and ready for spinning.
Fantastic. Oh, that's really interesting. So it is a real process. I mean, it would have taken months and years, wouldn't it?
It would have done, and apparently this kind of skein here, which would have taken a spinner about a day to spin.
Yeah.
There's about a mile's length of thread there. That'll be enough to weave a handkerchief.
Wow.
So you can see just how
much material you need and how labour intensive it was.
That's right. So weavers actually liked having daughters, unlike a lot of people in those days, because the more girls you had, the more spinners you had.
I see. Wow, that's fascinating.
And
Incredible.
but even once you've got the stuff woven, then you've got to bleach it and do other things to
Yeah,
it. So it was
and you've got to sell it and market it
yeah,
and
exactly,
all the rest of
exactly.
it.
So that's why it's always been like quite an elite fabric, you know, it was only
Right.
for the people
For the wealthy people.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Heather. That's
welcome.
really kind of you. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
I'm now going to have a quick look inside the spinner's cottage. You can see this has got an original kind of thatched roof. I was speaking to Heather and she told me that this would have been a kind of homestead. So it's where the family would have lived, but it's also where they would have produced linen, working kind of like as a family business all under one roof with these spinning wheels, and all of the children and siblings would have been directly kind of employed in the manufacturing of linen. And here we've got a mill, got a painting of an old mill using linen for different materials, even got a cricket bat, uniforms. Yeah, another thing that Heather mentioned was even in the wartime they need lots of linen for things like uniforms, bandages, handkerchiefs, all sorts of things that soldiers need in a war. Barbara & Sons linen threads manufacturer from Lisburn. Got lots of medals and coins here. I think these are prizes that William Barber Company won. Videos about spinning and weaving. The life of a spinner. So they obviously had different designs for the spinning wheel. Brown linen markets. Got a kids' play area here for colouring in, that kind of thing. Got a few books down there as well on the sofas. And then bleaching, life as a bleacher. Finishing for sale. Got a model of a table loom here. Let's go through to the next room. Some examples of what the linen would have been used for in terms of clothes. So children's clothes, dresses, lace collars for ladies, more dresses, men's jackets, ties, a fantastic umbrella or parasol, and then more elegant, more modern style garments, dresses. Coulson's Damask Manufactory in Lisburn. And into the next room with the looms. Hello. How's it going?
It's going.
It's going. So is this the original design that would have been used back in the day?
Yeah, these are all original looms.
They are original. Oh, okay.
This one's about 190. And
Wow.
the other two there are about 170.
Right.
So these are all been imported or something.
And the technique hasn't changed?
Not very much.
No.
The lighting is probably a bit better.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Other than that, it's just,
Fantastic.
yeah,
Thank you.
that's it.
Yep, so all of these are kind of original looms. Got a fan in there to get us ventilation. Linen manufacturers to His Majesty the King. This is a late 18th century Dobby loom. Really interesting history of manufacturing here. And we've got some more modern techniques here, I think. Wow, fascinating stuff. Thank you. Cheers. Wow, that was really cool. So one other kind of interesting thing that Heather mentioned was that there was actually a linen industry that carried on right until the end of the Second World War here in Lisburn in County Antrim. The peak of the industry would have been around 1880s or 1890s when industrialisation made the actual production of linen much quicker and much more efficient. But it continued until relatively late on in the 20th century, which really surprised me. Part of that was due to the demand from the actual Second World War itself. So linen in the forms of uniform fabrics and that kind of thing that went on ships and boats to feed the demand for the kind of wartime supply. So that's why it carried on in such a big way, and then it dropped down a lot after the Second World War. So in the same building as the Linen Museum is the Lisburn Visitor Information Centre, and they've got this office here with lots of information about things to do here in Lisburn in the town, but also further afield in Northern Ireland. Got some souvenirs here also, lots of leaflets, maps, booklets about what's on in Belfast and other places as well, selling lots of linen products and other souvenirs, including a shot glass gift set which looks very good, about Ireland, Northern Ireland, lots of Guinness stuff. Yeah, so fantastic little shop and information centre here. Yep, so that was fascinating. Lisburn Museum and Irish Linen Hall. Definitely recommend it if you are in Lisburn. Fascinating stuff about the history of their main kind of industry in the town and the information centre there as well. So I'm just walking towards the high street now. The high street is called Bow Street here. So they've got these fantastic sculptures with lights on, commemorating some of the history of Lisburn. Yeah, and that's the entrance to the visitor information there. A lot of the shops are still open. We've got a bakeries here called Jeffers, and got some water features here as well, a little fountain. You can see the hair, the wooden hair that's cropped up again. This is related to that bench that we saw in the park. They're trying to promote the writer Sam McBratney, I think his name is, and his works, his books. Hello. Got this water feature here, this fountain. Over on the other side is the First Presbyterian Church of Lisburn. Down there is Market Street, and this is Bow Street. So the last time I was here, it was a Sunday morning and all the shops were closed, and it was very quiet. So it's good to see it's a bit busier now, a bit more going on. They've got these pink lights and ribbons. I think this is for Cancer Action Month, the month of October. Yeah, so Creamer Coffee Shop, that's quite well known, I think, in the town. Then you've got a lot of high street shops and outlets. So here we've got a very upmarket food shop, specialty foods from around the world, greens. And yeah, this looks like a really smart kind of supermarket. Lots of interesting products on sale there. Yeah, so we got a lot of charity shops, we got a few banks. Bob&Berts is a coffee chain from Northern Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. Got the pumpkin season. Yep, so quite a busy high street. My hotel is down that street, the Haslam's Lane, leading to Lisburn Square. I'm staying at the Haslam Hotel, where I stayed last time. Very good hotel. Got Waterstones here. Got Boots. Card Factory. Cafe Nero. So this is Antrim Street, which is another quite busy street which leads down towards the station. Right. And yeah, now we're heading down to the Bow Street Mall, which is kind of the main shopping centre in the town. There's lots of school children around. I think they must have already finished for the day. Got a trespass shop here. Great to see they've got a Greggs. No high street is complete without one. Yep, and that's the Bow Street Mall. So let's go and have a look inside there. I'm glad I've got my new jacket. It's getting quite cold now, actually. So we've got Pound Stretcher here. Soho. Costa Coffee. Quite a good selection of shops. One-stop mortgage shop. That sounds good. Costa Coffee here. Timpson's. 3 phone shop. Vision Express. USA Nails. T2 Coffee Shop. TUI Travel Agents. Got Bernardo charity shops, perfume shops, Card Factory, Claire's, which is closing down, Primark. Oh my god. Vaporette, born in Belfast. Deviate, which looks like a clothes shop. Blue Ink. And Dunn's Stores, which I think is a clothing shop, an Irish clothing shop. Yeah, so you get the idea of what kind of a shopping centre this is. It's got a good selection of independent brands and chains. We've got Sports Direct, Savers, New Look, Peacocks, Menaries, which I think is a department store here in Northern Ireland. Jewellery shops. Yeah, quite a big shopping centre actually. Beauty salon here, bold and beautiful. So I just saw a sign that said that this opened up in 2005. So that's how long the Bow Street Mall has been going. Cuddly capybara as seen on TikTok. It's a kind of teddy picker for capybara. So apparently there is a food court on the first floor, but I'm not going to visit the food court because I feel like I've already got an idea of what this shopping centre is all about. But yeah, really interesting place for all your shopping needs. So I'm now on the coffee shop called Bob&Berts here on Bow Street, which is kind of the high street here in Lisburn, and I've ordered myself a pumpkin spice latte and also some protein balls called Loader Balls. Interestingly, I met the owner and founder of this company in St George's Market in Belfast last time I came to Northern Ireland last year, and that is actually on one of my videos on my channel, so you might want to check that out. So this is a fantastic little coffee shop. It's a Northern Irish coffee chain that's started in Coleraine, and now they have branches also in Scotland and England, so they're really expanding. Yeah, so I'm really excited about trying my coffee and trying my protein balls. So, time to try my pumpkin spice latte.
Yes, I want you to do it.
Really good.
Sorry, it's just
Wow, delicious. Nice and hot. On top there's kind of a sprinkling of chocolate and cinnamon, which is really nice. And yeah, just a very rich sort of warm flavour that combines well with the milk and the coffee, so absolutely delicious. Okay, so time to try the Ferrero Rocher protein balls. Yeah, so the protein ball is very tasty, chewy, crunchy, with a nice big walnut on top. Really delicious actually, and I feel marginally less guilty about having a chocolate snack because it's got some protein in it, so that's good. Yeah, but just a nice chilled atmosphere in this place, very friendly staff, very good service, a great selection of cakes, pastries and that kind of thing. And yeah, just a great place to stop for a coffee and a chill out. I really recommend Bob&Berts Coffee House. Really friendly staff, very chatty, welcoming, really good fun. My spice latte was a bit like a hot chocolate with coffee. It was quite sweet actually, even though I didn't put any sugar in it, but it was very nice. Something different, and I really like cinnamon, so that was a really lovely flavour as well. Yeah, and just a great place to go for a coffee and a bit of a change from Cafe Nero, Starbucks and Costa and that kind of thing. So really good place actually, I really enjoyed it. It's about 10 to 5 now, and it's just getting a little bit quieter here on Lisburn High Street after the kind of busyness of 4 o'clock. I'm just walking slightly away from the town centre up a street called Chapel Hill, and there's a great big church on my left hand side that I want to have a quick look at. So this is St. Patrick's Church. This is actually the Catholic church in town, as you can see from the statues and things like that outside. Very beautiful church. It is closed at the moment, so I won't be able to go inside. And then they've got this church hall or pastoral centre for the parish of Lisburn here. Yep, so this is Chapel Hill, quite central actually. Probably St Patrick, that statue. Yep, and this is the main entrance to the church here. And we've even got a palm tree on the side of St Patrick's Church. It's quite an exotic feature to have. Yeah, and from here you can just get a slightly better view of St Patrick's Church and the spire. It's kind of a landmark in the city because you can see the spire for quite a long way. Very beautiful church, well preserved. And it's got a kind of community centre just to the side there. So I'm now walking back to my hotel, literally just around the corner from here. So this is where I'm staying at the moment. This is called the Haslam Hotel, really great hotel. And something that I only discovered this morning is that right at the end of the street of this hotel is the bus station for Lisburn. So I had no idea that was there. And it means that it's actually really well positioned for transport because you can get a bus to Belfast and other parts of Northern Ireland as well. You can also get the train, which is fine, but just for a point of reference, the bus station is right here. So Lisburn Square, the entrance is just there. And then literally just around the corner is Lisburn bus station. So that's quite handy to know if you are staying in the area. So I've just spotted another church literally just behind the bus station. So the bus station's there. And I had a quick look on the sign. This is the Christchurch, or the parish of Christchurch, I think, and it's a Church of Ireland church, which is an Anglican communion. Very beautiful little church with a nice garden and some mature trees in front of it. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see the sign, Church of Ireland, parish of Christchurch. So this is on Hillsborough Road. The church is actually closed at the moment, but you can see even from the gate what an attractive little church it is. It's got this nice gardens with some trees around it here. So I've actually spotted quite a few churches here in Lisburn. There seems to be one almost on every corner or on every road at least. So yeah, lots of history, lots of culture and that kind of thing, which is always quite interesting, I think. Here is one of the entrances to the bus station. Right, here's the main entrance, I think. Looks like they also have coaches for longer journeys as well. Yeah, and another entrance here. Thanks. I'm now on Lisburn Square, which is a kind of big square with shops and pubs and things like that. Looks like they've got car parking downstairs here, underground car parking. So this bistro in front, the Square Bistro, is one of the top rated bistros or restaurants in the city of Lisburn. I haven't been there myself, but apparently it's kind of quite fine dining, French style gastronomy. And right in the corner there is the Haslam Hotel where I'm staying. It's where I stayed last year as well when I came to Lisburn. Very good hotel, great service, comfortable rooms and that kind of thing. And here we've got another carved bench in reference to the nut brown hares by the author Sam McBratney. And throughout the square we've got these hares positioned on the flower beds, which is all part of the same literary campaign to promote the nut brown hares. I think I'm going to sign off at this point. It's been a fantastic afternoon discovering the fantastic city of Lisburn here in Northern Ireland. It's a really interesting, diverse place, and yeah, it's just been a joy this afternoon kind of getting to know a bit of the history, the culture, and what's going on here. Really cool place. I think the highlight for me, first of all, going to the castle gardens and checking out all the history about the castle and Richard Wallace, who was kind of like the old lord and sort of benefactor who gave a lot of money for the construction of stuff in the town. And then also going to the R Space Gallery and meeting Anthea and Robert, who are the owners and managers of that place. Yeah, finding out a little bit about the arts kind of scene in Lisburn, but more widely also in Northern Ireland. I found that really fascinating, and I thought it was a really beautiful gallery that is really well curated and obviously, you know, looked after really well. So it's just been a terrific day. I've really enjoyed myself. I think Lisburn is a good place to stay because of its geographical location. It's got good links to Belfast, but also to the rest of Northern Ireland. It's just a few stops away from Portadown, which has a link to Dublin as well if you want to go to Dublin for the day. So yeah, it's a fantastic place, good place to base yourself for travelling in Northern Ireland. I definitely recommend it. And yeah, I've just found it really fascinating getting to know a bit of the culture of the place today. It's been awesome, been really good fun. So thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate your time. If you have enjoyed this video today, please subscribe for more content that might be up your street. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye from Lisburn.